Jewish world, Rabbi?
That it will be peace for all the world by performing all the 7 mitzvahs of the Messiah.
Do you feel that we've entered a messianic age, Rabbi? Do you feel that we entered the age of the Messiah, Rabbi?
Long ago.
Long ago.
Long ago.
Hashem scattered the Jews among the nation, להרבות עליהם גרים. Mitzvah to show the truth to the goyim, that they should leave their idols and become Noachites, righteous Gentile. It's mitzvah.
When the Jewish people have the authority and the ability to enforce, anybody that doesn't accept the 7 Noahide laws loses their life, should be killed.
If you do not keep these 7 laws, you should be killed in this world, and you will not have a share in the world to come.
But this is the reason why the other monotheistic religions were so popular, both the Christians and now he introduces the Muslims. They are here to play an important role. Their role is to straighten the path for Messiah, to clear the path for Messiah, to fix the whole world to worship God. That's the role of Messiah. They're going to help facilitate that.
Religious efforts under Theodosius were thorough. Nicene Christianity and Orthodox Trinitarianism became the official state religion in 380. In 381, persecutions of pagans began with authorized attacks on pagan temples. Between 389 and 392, non-Nicene Christianity was banned. Pagan holidays were turned into workdays. The use of auspices, the religious foundation of ancient Roman authority, was prohibited. The Vestals were disbanded, and the altar of victory was removed from the Senate in Rome. In 393, the Olympic Games ceased. In 394, Rome's eternal flame was extinguished because it was pagan.
Anti-Semitism is really anti-God. I don't mean that every Jew's perfect, but the Torah and the divine revelation that the Jews were given and are responsible to follow themselves and also share with others is really God's. It's God's message to the world. It's God's way of life for the entire world. And so anti-Semitism is being anti-God. The fight right now against Jews is a fight against Hashem, is a fight against God.
You know, this was the biggest warning that Paul the Apostle made to Gentile believers. He said, listen, you guys, know your place. He says, before you were introduced to the God of Israel, to Jesus, the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua, you were a Gentile, you were a pagan, you were without hope, without God in the world. And this was our place. And he says, but now by grace you've been grafted in, as you said, to the tree of Israel. And he says, but just because you've been grafted in by grace, don't you become arrogant. Don't you look down on those that were broken off in order that you blind Gentile could come in. And yet, unfortunately, Gentile arrogance is what has dominated much of the church down through history. Beyond the political activism side, first and foremost, our stand with Israel has to be gospel-centered. So we need to stand against the propaganda and the lies that are coming against Israel, but at the heart of it, our support has to be much deeper and spiritual. We need to be calling the Jewish people back to the God of Israel, back to their Messiah. It's the Jewish Messiah that brought us into this relationship with them, and that's our duty. It's our mandate is to bring them back to him as well.
We as Christians need to understand that the Bible tells us that the Jews are God's chosen people. We as Christians need to understand that God gave the so-called land of Palestine to the Jewish people, to Israel, which they have occupied in perpetuity for 3,000 years, not always ruling it, but they've been there in that land that God gave them. And we need to understand that we should be praying for them because God gave us the Bible through the Jews. God gave us our Messiah as a Jewish man.
You see, the Jewish people have given us the Word of God. Every word in this book was written with Jewish hands. The patriarchs were all Jewish. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Ezekiel, Isaiah. There's not a Gentile in the list anywhere. Paul was a Jew. The great evangelist to the Gentile world was a Jew by the name of Paul the Apostle.
As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so is the Lord round about his people forever. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. In this city, the Messiah is going to come and put his foot on the Mount of Olives. It will split in half. He will walk up and sit on that throne for 1,000 years. This city is going to be the city that every prime minister, president, king, and queen, every person on the planet must come and get their instructions to function. Paris, Washington, Rome, or pup tents at the end of a dirt road compared to Jerusalem in the future. This is the city of God.
The Goyim are going to build your walls, and the kings are going to serve you, and the gates will be constantly open in order to enable the Goyim to come and bring the Chel Goyim, the wealth of the nations, and to be able to come and bring it to Yerushalayim. And as other Mefarshim say, they're going to be brought in chains to show that they are avodim to Malchut. And the reason why the gates of Yerushalayim will always be open will be because the Goyim will be coming by the myriads to bring the gifts and to bring the wealth and to bring all the gifts to Yerushalayim, to the Yid.
The Goyim at that time will all become believers in God, in the Jewish God. They will simply throw out all their versions of who God is, whether that God is Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or the Hindu deities, for good and forever.
As soon as you start your beginning of Bible study, of Torah study, then the first thing you need to know, the whole world was created for the Jewish people and for the Torah. B'shvil HaTorah, b'shvil Yisrael, for the sake of the Jewish people observing the Torah.
Matthew 25, he says this, when the Son of Man comes in his glory, that's when Jesus comes back, he splits the sky, shining like the sun, with an army of angels with him. When he comes back, he's describing his own return, then he will sit on your throne forever. But let's just call it what it is. It's the restoration of the Jewish monarchy that will rule over the earth. So you get all these conspiracy theorists that go, the Jews rule the world. No, they don't. But someday a Jew will rule the world. He's still Jewish. He's coming back as a Jew in a physical Jewish body. And all nations will bow down to him.
So based, Rabbi Joel. We're about to get started, guys. Just a second. Here's another mix from John before we get going, before we start the show.
And the rest
share the link.
Is the fundamental basis
Give it a like.
Restoration of the West. I say this as a Jew. Everybody who grew up in a Christian household and whose grandparents were Christian needs to go to church. Everyone.
It's like weird that they would take a Jew and make him into their God, you know?
It's interesting that, when Christians say, you Jews think you're chosen. I said, no, just the opposite. You think God is a Jew. We don't.
Yeah, you think we're chosen.
I regard Christianity as a divine way of bringing the world to Sinai. The greatest Jewish philosopher who ever lived, Maimonides, in the 11th century, who was no fan of either Christians or Muslims. He was persecuted by both. Yet he wrote at the end of his great work on Jewish law, the Yad HaChazakah, means the strong hand, and he wrote that it's Christians overwhelmingly who have brought the Torah to the world, more than Jews have.
When it comes to taking a pagan, polytheistic world and moving them towards the right direction, Christianity and Islam have done a great job in doing that. So in that regard, we see Christianity and Islam as helping bring the world to observe what they're supposed to ultimately observe, the Noahide Code.
How can I not be happy when 2 billion Christians bow down to one Jew together unanimously? It makes my life.
Makes his life. Christians don't want to banger there, John Garadas. Tell me about it. These stupid Christian copers online slandering me, taking a clip out of context, acting like I promote Kabbalah when I've been exposing Kabbalah and all forms of Judaism, including Christianity and Islam, for years, almost a decade. Give me a fucking break. These slanderous attacks are such cope. Never the argument, never a good faith debate, never actually engaging with the argument, always some type of bullshit clip out of context, or just complete made-up lie. They're such frauds. Anyway, that's where that mix came from. Fire mix there, John. We got another mix we're going to end the show with, dealing with some more delusional, denying Jesus' Jewish cope that these Christians never give up. Huge show today. Going to be, we're Bible brain maxing. I have Bible brain maxing fatigue, actually. Goyim Bible brain maxing fatigue. All Jewish Bible brain maxing fatigue, all of it. The Bible brain, the prophecy brain, really on my last nerve. Flashback. Well, today we're going to cover a bunch of other stuff too. Thursday, March 26, 2026. Yeah, the religion would fall apart if they couldn't lie. It's pathological liars online. It's just the worst. The worst. I get attacked for all of the most backwards, ridiculous, inverted things. It's such a joke. Flashback to 2022, when Elon was buying X, the ADL was kvetching and admitted that they reported me for a meme I posted, which was a quote of Christopher Hitchens describing Judaism as evil. So here was the post. ADL saw this and said, "Shut it down." Christopher Hitchens, from a clip I have, speaking to a Christian woman about how she's saddled to Judaism, he says, quote, "The Torah is a document of very aggressive and cruel tribe and religion. You're saddled with this savage Judaism. It's actually evil. It's wicked. It's really awful. And they give it to children. It's disgraceful." The ADL saw that and said, flag, alert, Goyim noticing alert. They said, when Adam Green, an anti-Semitic podcaster with over 2,800 followers, almost at 95 now, shared a tweet describing Judaism with terms like savage, evil, and wicked, Twitter declined to remove it after being alerted to it by the ADL, saying that it did not violate their community guidelines. This was in their big threatening the boycott campaign that they did in 2022. Isn't that ridiculous? Getting attacked all sides for criticizing Judaism. Just the greatest mind control, prophecy, Bible brain deception of modern history to ancient history. All right. Let's do first clip of Trump joking about his statue in Venezuela.
That flows to American refineries on the Gulf Coast, lowering the price of gas in America. So it's a...
Forget that. When are they going to do the statue? The hell with you.
That flows to American refineries on the Gulf Coast, lowering the...
Forget about the oil. Where's his statue? They're building a statue. They're erecting a Trump statue in Venezuela. Okay. Ego much? Dude, I don't think anybody's maybe ever had a bigger ego, narcissist, but yet really insecure than Trump. The messianic complex that Trump must have. J.D. Vance wishing the troops, the troops blessed Easter.
Of course, that we have mindful, of course, that we have a lot of folks overseas fighting very ably for the United States of America. I know Pete and the whole team, we're very proud of them, but they're fighting at a time where we're about to enter as Christians the most important week of the Christian calendar, the Holy Week that celebrates the return of Jesus Christ to Jerusalem. And so I want to say to all of my fellow American Christians, but particularly those serving in the Gulf, that I wish you all a very blessed Easter, a very blessed Holy Week, and we continue to stand behind you and continue to support you every step of the way. Thank you, sir.
And we're all going to support Israel, the chosen people in the Holy Land. According to Hegseth, we're going to do the prayer from Hegseth next. It's just, this is a Christian holy war. This is a Christian Zionist holy war against Iran with Israel. I mean, yesterday Glenn Beck saying that he thinks it's in the end times. Lindsey Graham called it a holy war. We're going to play a clip today of Tucker Carlson with some Israeli politician who says it's a holy war. and some other clips from him.
We have a lot of folks overseas fighting very ably for the
Nothing they hate more, though. They're really trying to destroy Christianity, right? No, we're inundated with it. It's ubiquitous, and we're inundated with it, and if you criticize it, the fangs come out everywhere. The real taboo, actually, is just linking Judaism. Amalek just said this to me earlier. The real taboo, the real third rail, is people that connect Torah to the Judaism to Jews and Zionism and Christianity. I'll throw in too. Connecting the whole Judeo matrix, the whole Judeo paradigm, Yahweh, Moshiach, Torah, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, that's the third rail. Pete Hegseth at today's Christian prayer worship at the Pentagon, the Third Temple Yeshua Crusader.
Put yourself in the place of one of those couple hundred Americans about to undertake this audacious raid on the Iwo Jima, looking at a lot of uncertainty in front of you. And this was the passage, and this was the pre-mission reading and the prayer that was read with them. First, a reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 18, verses 37 to 42. King David writes, I pursued my enemies and overtook them, and did not turn back till they were consumed. I thrust them through so that they were not able to rise. They fell under my feet.
So we're reading our prophecies and praying to the God of Abraham. The Muslims are over there reading their prophecies, praying to the God of Abraham about how they're waging war. Ukraine's praying to their Jewish God. Russia's praying to their Jewish God. All sides of the Abrahamic matrix praying to the same God of Abraham, whether they all like to admit it or not, according to these prophecies. Worldwide prophecy, mind control, deception.
For you equipped
Abrahamic clusterfuck. I like that. Thank you, Oceans.
me with strength for the battle. You made those who rise against me sink under me. You made my enemies turn their backs to me, and those who hated me I destroyed. They cried for help, but there was none to save.
And now he's going to destroy the Goyim that hate the Jews. But this is talking about Psalms and King David.
Cried to the Lord, but
they interpreted these same type of prophecies about conquering the Gentiles, and that manifested in Christianity.
Did not answer them. I beat them fine as dust before the wind. I cast them out like the mire of the streets. And then he prayed this prayer, the chaplain. And we pray it with him this morning. Almighty God, who trains our hands for war and our fingers for battle, you who stirred the nations from the north against Babylon of old, making her land a desolation where none dwell. Behold now the wicked who rise against your justice and the peace of the righteous. Snap the rod of the oppressor, frustrate the wicked plans, and break the teeth.
This is the head of the Department of War, by the way. Of war. Speaking to our military, reading them Jewish scriptures, the Psalms of David, the King of Judah. And you want to tell me this isn't Judeo? Oh, hold the Judeo. You're praying you're waiting for the King David Messiah, the Lion of the tribe of Judah.
Of the ungodly. By the blast of your anger, let the evil perish. Let their bulls go down to slaughter, for their day has come, the time of their punishment. Pour out your wrath upon those who plot vain things, and blow them away like chaff before the wind.
Jewish God!
Grant this task force clear and righteous targets for violence. Surround them as a shield.
Righteous targets.
Innocent and blameless in their midst. Make their arrows like those of a skilled warrior who returned not empty-handed. Let every round
bless us, O Jewish God.
The enemies of righteousness and our great nation. Give them wisdom in every decision, endurance for the trial ahead, unbreakable unity, and overwhelming violence of action against those who deserve no mercy.
Oh, it's just Hollywood or the banking or blah, blah, blah. Christianity, stop criticizing white Christian over here. You're being anti-white. All the people completely on the side of Iran and anti-Western. But then if I criticize a white Christian here, it's, oh, you're bad. You hate white people, right? They're just, reading Jewish scriptures to the military that's fighting wars for Israel.
preserve their lives, sharpen their
Oh, I got to get Powerchat turned on. I just realized too. I'll turn it on and it'll play. That's a funny one.
resolve, and let justice be executed swiftly and without remorse, that evil may be driven back and wicked souls delivered to the eternal damnation prepared for them. For the wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion.
Meanwhile, their talking points are like the imams and the Twelvers and the Mahdi and the Dajjal and the apocalyptic Iranians are going to nuke the world. They're a danger. Meanwhile, look at the Jews and the Christians. I can't believe that's their accusation they're running with. And sadly, it works and they get away with it. It's still effective.
We ask these things with bold confidence in the mighty and powerful name of Jesus Christ, King over all kings, and amen.
Jewish king over all. King David of Judah over all the Goyim kings. Amen.
We pray such prayer for our men and women in harm's way right now. To think that such Americans exist on our behalf, on behalf of the American people, and that is certainly our prayer for them today.
All right. Now this clip. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Speaking of prayers, meanwhile, Jared Kushner is doing the negotiations.
Ron, there's been reports that the vice president is leading those negotiations. Is that true?
Well, he's involved in them. JD is involved, and Marco's involved, and Jared Kushner's involved. Very smart guy. And
what position is he in the government again? Unofficial top advisor? Unofficial Secretary of State again? Again?
And Steve Witkoff, smart guy, is involved.
Why is the president's son-in-law involved in these talks? Think about that. Maybe we haven't asked this question enough, but maybe we should. Isn't that a little weird?
Yeah, it's because he's got conflict of interest and financial interests everywhere. And otherwise, if he was official, it would be like illegal stuff with Israel, possibly.
Your son-in-law is negotiating with Iran?
Yeah, your Chabadnik son-in-law that's been buddies with Netanyahu forever. Lifelong close family friends with Netanyahu. Okay, this is the clip that really made me seethe how stupid it is. This woman, Mary D. Franson, the House Capital Investment Committee, says she doesn't care about saving the world. She doesn't care about saving the planet. She doesn't care about pollution or crime or war or anything because she believes in Jesus. And we're in the end times. And God wins.
Climate change, I don't get.
This is Bible Brain Maxing Best Example, Exhibit A.
And that's why when we talk about climate change, I don't get upset about it. I don't get worked up about it, is because my faith is not in climate change. It's not in scientists dictating what we should and should not do to save the environment, because my faith is in Jesus Christ, right? He's the same today, tomorrow, and forever.
I don't care about no science. I don't care about what no science says. I don't care about trying to make the world a better place because she believes in Jesus and the good Jewish book.
Tomorrow and forever, yesterday. And so, if you've read the good book, you know how it ends. It's not with climate change. And that's my closing speech. And that's
you know how it ends. We know how it ends, actually, with the Jewish Messiah coming and Antichrist and mass war and death and slaughtering and blood filling the streets and beheadings and raptures. This woman probably believes in the rapture. She's like, we're going to be raptured away. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, y'all. We're about to be raptured away. Jesus is coming. All right, God. All right, guys. I don't care about what no scientists have to say because Jesus is coming down in the cloud with the blood dripping robe and he's going to save us. We know how the good book ends, okay? The Jews told us what's going to happen in the future, and we believe them, okay? Dude. Are we living in a Jewish Twilight Zone? Because it feels like it. I feel like I'm in a Jewish Twilight Zone, and everybody's been infected with like a mind virus, alien parasite on their brain. Viral mind virus. That's what it feels like. That needs to be a meme, an AI meme. Mind virus, parasite, with the Bible on top of it. Feeding the magical Jewish prophecies into their heads. I the only one?
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Okay, powerchat.live/no more news turned on. Let's see those comments. Let's see what you guys have to say. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. Former Rothschild director appointed head of the Vatican Bank. Based. That is how we win. Not the first time that Rothschild bankers were involved with the Catholic Church. A past of the Rothschild Bank providing loans for the Catholic Church. Beholden in debt to the Rothschilds. God's church. The one true God's church in debt to the Rothschilds. The loans to the Catholic Church, 1832, 1850s. You know, it was a Jew that actually funded or financed a bunch of the churches. I believe it was in England. Chat, judges in the chat, anybody recall that? So long history of borrowing money from the Rothschilds. Early to mid 19th century. Okay. Another masterpiece AI slop from Iran. Let's see this one. We played the ones yesterday. I'm a little bit shocked, but not shocked. The one we played yesterday that was like, it seemed like it was RT promoted it. It was like the Japanese and the Native Americans and the African slaves and Yemen and Palestine, Iran, and they're all looking up, and then it's like bombing America. A big bomb hitting America with a ball statue. It seemed to me like it was written by like a Marxist, communist, feminist, like anti-white, anti-colonialist, anti-white supremacy, anti-America, anti-Western propaganda. And I'm like, this gives me patriotism to see this anti-white, anti-Western, white guilt propaganda. And then everybody's in the chat like, oh, you're Zionist now? You're pro-Jew? It's just like, shut up. You didn't even talk about Jews in the video. Stupid copers. Dude, all of my adversaries, all of my detractors and haters have just the most disgraceful, pathetic, dishonest copes every time. Yeah. Anti-Western Russian like wartime propaganda slop. White guilt. Like it's indistinguishable from what you would see some like Marxist communist Jewish professor say about the West. Like Howard Zinn shit. Crazy.
We sacrificed 168 beautiful, innocent school kids. The best kids. Tremendous sacrifice. Nobody does sacrifice like we do.
Again, why are we scapegoating Baal, the enemy idol god of the Jews? It's Yahweh. Why do the Arabs and the Christians, Russia and Iran, not criticize Jews for worshiping Yahweh? Because they worship Yahweh too. That's why this is a big circling the wagons, Abrahamic circle jerk. Deflecting away, blaming non-existent secret Satanists everywhere. Or Khazarians, or Sabbateans, or interdimensional fallen angel demons.
We did it for you, sir. Believe me, Val, it's huge.
More. I want more!
Meanwhile, is it not Yahweh that demands the animal sacrifices and commanded the Israelites, the Hebrews, to conquer the 7 nations, the Canaanites, the Hittites, all of them, to take their virgin daughters, bash the babies against the rocks, that talks about genociding Edom? Are we not talking about the God that literally sacrificed the whole world pretty much besides Noah? The God that sacrificed all the firstborn innocent sons of Egypt? The God that sacrificed his son to himself? But for some reason we're blaming the enemy idol God of Judaism Like, could you get any more Noahide compliant? See, they're doing their prophecies too. Do you call upon the idol of Baal and abandon the best of creators? Oh, not surprising, there's something anti-Baal, just like the Old Testament is about rejecting Baal worship and worshiping Yahweh instead. Just crazy. Yeah, I don't know why these power chats aren't playing. What do I got to do? Is there any more here? Dude, are we watching Dune? It's like the Fremen go, it was written. It's like, dude, and these guys are like, dude, the Bene Gesserit, nothing the Bene Gesserit hate more in Dune than all the people on Dune believing in their prophecies that they planted there. Nothing they fear more than their apocalyptic, galactic, messianic prophecies that they've been grooming messianic figures for. Dude, it almost seems like they've made more missile AI videos online than actual hits on Israel. So fight against Satan's forces. Indeed, Satan's schemes are ever weak. Well, the rabbis think their Moshiach is going to conquer Satan also. So
we sacrifice.
Satan is being anti-Satan when Satan's the adversary to Yahweh is not the own you think it is. Sneeko says he loves Jesus after explaining the truth of Islam and how it maintains tradition. Let's hear Noahide Sneeko's Chrislam, Christo-Islamic phobia. What's the new story? There's some term in England or something. There's some new law. Let's see the Noahide's final form here.
Was completely subverted by a pagan ritual.
You bow to a cute fuck your bitch ass soft ass mods. Sell dollar TTS. Okay, Epstein.
You say the truth and then you start getting upset. Look up the Kaaba for a second.
Hold on.
Was completely subverted by a pagan ritual.
You bow to.
See, it's not that Christianity was subverted by a pagan ritual. The pagan rituals were co-opted and hijacked and subverted by a Jewish messianic religion. That's what actually happened. You're very rabbinical of you to be like, the only problem with Christianity is how pagan it is. All the paganism. Jew worship, that's fine. That's all good. Worshiping the King of the Jews. He'll take the King of the Jews, reject the paganism. That's based. That's how we win. See the issue here?
To a cute fuck your bitch ass soft ass mods.
You say the truth and then you start getting upset. Look up the Kaaba for a second. You pray in that direction. Kaaba's a mosque. It was built by Abraham. It's all Abrahamic faiths.
Sure.
We pray towards it. We don't worship it. In fact, Mecca and the Kaaba, all this.
We're all worshiping the same Jewish Abraham God, same covenant. Thanks, Sneeko. We know.
Was getting rid of pagan idols.
Yes.
The Muslims would have torn down the Statue of Liberty, finding out that it's a pagan goddess. They would have ripped it down because we don't want to have any false idols. We want to pray to God and God alone.
Dude. You can see the rabbi like rubbing his hands off camera like, perfect, Sneeko, yes. Oh, no idols, worship God of Abraham. Good, Sneeko. Very good. Very good, my Noahide.
Of all of this. No adaptations. In fact, it's important to maintain tradition because adaptations are why you have the Protestant sect of evangelical Christians who believe in the Scofield Bible where it says God blesses those who bless the state of Israel. Adaptation.
That's the regular Bible, bro. The regular Bible has the Jews chosen. Have you read it? We played the clip yesterday. He says he believes the Torah was given to the Jews by God. And he says Zionism bad, but Judaism is a good religion, he says.
Are the problem. If you allow all this to happen and say, well, things can change meaning. Okay.
Well, did he say the pagans are the problem?
Where it says God blesses those who bless the state of Israel. Adaptations are the problem. If you allow all this to happen and say, well, things can change meaning. Okay, well.
Dude, adaptations is the problem and things changing meaning. Well, the Quran is an adaptation of the Torah and Christianity? It's an adaptation of, it's the latest adaptation of Christianity and Judaism. Okay, no self-awareness?
The Bible changed meaning for these people, and now you have these Christian Zionists who dominate America, the number one sect, who believe it's their religious duty to support a Rothschild-owned state purchased in 1948. Does that make any sense to you? I say no. No adaptations. Although
Rothschild owned. They own all of Israel. It's just the Rothschilds. There's not millions of rabbis over there. There's not tons of synagogues. Nobody there's reading the Torah. Just the secular Rothschild, Sabbatean Frankist, Illuminati state. It's not the Torah and Judaism. That has nothing to do with it, right?
Christmas and Easter are good to spend time with your family. It's good remembrance. It has nothing to do with the teachings of Jesus. And I love Jesus. I love the Messiah. I want him to be remembered properly. I don't want his legacy to be remembered based off of
I love the Messiah.
fertility.
Hey, what Messiah is that? Of what people, dude? Sneeko? What people, who were the only people waiting for a Messiah before Christianity, Sneeko? What's the Messiah supposed to do? The Jewish Messiah? Conquer all the Goyim as Noahides like you're doing right now? How is this not more transparent to everybody? I don't get it.
And winter solstice Roman pagan traditions. Nope. December 25th was not Jesus' birthday. In fact, the Pope, he said himself, this was to adopt Roman traditions with it. That's how you want to remember Jesus' legacy? A false birthday with trees and reindeers that has nothing to do with his life?
We should just get rid of the Jewish myths. Just go back to the European original holidays. I'm anti-Jewish holidays.
What do you think when Jesus does return? When the Messiah comes back?
I prefer the pagan aspects, and my daughters are having pagan holidays, not worshiping the birth of the King of the Jews holidays. Not worshiping the resurrection of the King of the Jews holidays. That is gay and fake and Jewish. You love it. You think that's the best part. Like a good little Rabbi Noahide.
Remember him based off these Roman pagan traditions. How do you think he's going to react? Imagine he comes back and he sees Easter, his remembrance, and he sees like children running around looking for eggs. How do you think he's going to react? Let's maintain real tradition. This is important. In fact, there's nothing more important than that. Peace be upon Jesus.
Oh.
Chill.
Peace be upon him.
I'm not dividing. This is calling for unity. This is calling for unity. Division.
Noahide unity, guys. Anti-pagan, pro-Jewish God, Abrahamic, Noahide unity.
Happens when people allow their faith to be changed and divided and manipulated. Unity happens when we stay to the truth.
The truth. The Jewish prophecies. That's the truth, huh? The Jewish Messiah.
$10. Welcome to the Substack, Mr. Race Brother.
Thank you, Chris Burnett. What's up, dude? Glad to see you're watching this one. Good to see you here.
Glad to see you've been the need to the Substack, Master Race.
Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to for a while. For sure. Oh, yeah, I might as well plug that right now. I forgot to even mention it.
$10. Glad to see you've been.
Okay, I don't know how many times that's going to play. But I started a Substack. I've had it. I actually just kind of filled it up and activated it.
The need to the Substack.
Oh, my God. How many times is that going to play? Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Did you donate $100 on accident, Chris?
The need to the Substack.
Big Swag Fella sent $5 on Rumble. Hold the Judeo, sir. I will just be taking the King of the Jews, Rabbi Jesus, please.
Right. That should be a good meme. Hold the Judeo. Leave me the Jewish Messiah.
Sent $5 on Rumble. Rothschilds be making my mask each all Jewish and bruh. Pinhead Noahide Brown.
Yeah. Rothschilds. Yeah, 200 years ago is when the Torah Judaism problem began. Okay, so Substack, this is what we're going to do. Maybe starting in about a week or two to give some people some time to sign up, we're going to do a Zoom call, book club, starting with the Jesus Deception. and then we'll decide on other books after that. But that's what it's going to be, like a once a week Zoom call for paid subscribers, book club, starting with a reading and a discussion of my book. And then also we can do other stuff too. So I'll explain it more, but that's what we got going on right now so far. A little announcement there. Since Chris brought it up, it kind of I forgot about it. I wasn't even ready to get it going, but okay, here we go. No hide Sneeko, that was crazy. Okay. Let's do some of these. Tucker Carlson with this former interim president of Israel, Avraham Burg. Some good highlights in this, some good timestamps I want to watch. He's talking about how it's a messianic, apocalyptic, eschatological holy war amongst Netanyahu and a lot of the top Israelis, clearly.
The government of Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel and its many organized cheerleaders here in the United States have for some time now made the case that all criticism of their government is anti-Semitism. And it is because their government somehow speaks for all Jews globally. Every Jewish person is represented by the Netanyahu government.
First one is here.
Interim president. Avraham Burg, thank you very much for doing this. I want to ask you about something that's happening.
Yes, right about now, the third temple, too.
So the President of the United States issued a statement this morning saying that because of ongoing negotiations between the U.S. and Iran, the U.S. would not actually commence with hitting civilian infrastructure as he'd promised, and that we're going to try and work something out diplomatically this week.
Big Swang Fella sent $5 on Rumble. How long do you think the Zoom calls will typically be? Also, do you have an estimated time slot?
Zoom calls will probably be, I don't know, hour and a half, I'd say. And I may have a way for them to be saved that you can access them after the fact if you're on the Subscribe Star. Also, remember, too, I've been banned from... I took all my main income was taken away when they banned me from Patreon years ago, and then before that it was PayPal, and then it was the crypto Coinbase banned me, and then I had subscriptions on Odysee, and then they pulled their banking capabilities. So if you want to support monthly and do the book club or not, Subscribe Star is a good place to do it. I also I'm sorry, not Subscribe, Substack, but I also do have Subscribe Star for years as well.
Immediately after issuing that statement, there were reports that the Israeli military was hitting civilian infrastructure in Iran. Assuming that's true, what do you make of that? What strategy does that suggest?
The same strategy that Israel has for years, no strategy. In Israel, in many, many cases, the compilation of many tactics sometimes assemble into a de facto strategy, but otherwise nothing. I mean, just look at the last 2 hours. When was the announcement of the president? The surprising one.
I don't know if I believe him that they have no strategy.
Hours ago. And you have
but he contradicts himself a little later.
Bundle of messages coming from all directions. The first and the most important one, hallelujah, they're going to renew the flights so we can go for Passover vacation. That's the immediate reaction of many Israelis, my daughter included. The second is, Netanyahu knew altogether. I mean, Netanyahu is behind the move, as if
Max
framing
Dalbear
it is.
Thank you, Max Dalbear.
Sent 10 earlier, but I must have missed it play. If it did, hopefully it landed. Good.
I'll look and see if I saw it. Thank you, Max Dalbear.
As his own move. And then, Trump, he is so softy. He's so weak. He doesn't have any resilience. The Iranians, they trick him, etc., etc., etc. Bottom line is nobody has a clue. And in this chaos, the military does what it does the best. Simply hammer the nail.
But you're suggesting that those tactics, the one we're seeing today and the ones we've seen for the last month, don't add up to a strategy? There's no strategic goal in mind?
I listened to you very carefully in the last couple.
Okay.
Is this a religious war from the Israeli perspective or from the Orthodox Israeli perspective?
Is this a religious war? Clearly, according to the rabbis, it is. Is any war not a religious war according to rabbis and Christians?
With Iran.
In Iran
Yes.
now? Never defined this way officially. I will say it's the second, me personally, who observed the situation and tried to intellectualize it in order to comprehend.
Yes.
I will say it's the second stage of religious war. At what sense? Up until October 7th, the conflict between us and Palestinians, which is bloody and malicious and awful, especially awful because it could have been resolved so many times before.
This he was former interim president. I think he might have been in the Knesset too. I'm seeing stuff about him online that like he's like works with some communist Arab group or something like that. So he's a lefty Jew, I believe.
Conflict between two national communities.
I mean, who else wears blue glasses but like some libtard, right? Good one. Okay.
So political conflicts and national conflicts, as difficult as it is, we know what to do with that. October 7th was the first round of the full-scale religious war.
Full-scale religious war.
Fundamentalism at the Israeli government and Muslim fundamentalism at the Hamas government. And the philosophy of Hamas and the ideology of the
and religious war of America and the Christians
and some of its leading ministers was out in the open, with rabbis and chaplains in the army and ministers and members of Knesset expressing it loud and clear.
See, so people that say, oh, it's just Netanyahu or it's Rothschild Sabbatean Zionism. No, it is religious Jews that believe in the Torah, Talmud, and some of them probably Zohar and Kabbalah that are being influenced deeply by the religions. Oh, religion has nothing to do with it. Remember on the Spaces, we're not talking about religion. Religion isn't the problem here.
So,
oh, the religion doesn't have influence in Israel. It's just the bankers and the Hollywood and the secular ones.
October 7th was first chapter.
It's Zionism's not Judaism, right? Oh, all these rabbis and ultra fundamentalists and ultra orthodox influencing Israel in positions of power and influence. They all believe in Judaism, but it's Zionism, not Judaism.
Of the deterioration of the political conflict into a religious one. This one in Iran, which is 3 years later, which historically speaking is maybe the same period. It is so fast. I mean, what is it 3 years in human history? It's nothing. It's not even a comma.
Yes.
Yet when you live it day in and day out, it's difficult. It's heavy. It's sirens. It's kids not sleeping. It's sleepless nights and fear. But it's a different one. The war in Iran now, from my point of view, is the first religious fundamentalist world war. Jewish fundamentalism, Christian fundamentalism, and Jewish fundamentalism at the battlefield.
There you go. There you go. Not secret Satanists. That's what it is. The Abrahamic paradigm following these apocalyptic holy wars. Okay. Hard to call me an anti-Semite for saying that when the president of Israel says it, right? And the former prime minister Ehud Barak and Ehud Omer also say the same thing. There's religious messianic fanatics, apocalyptic, that want to blow up the world to usher in the Messiah. That is the issue here. And notice how he included the whole paradigm too: Christians, Muslims, and Jews.
It feels that way to me.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry?
Yeah, it feels that way to me watching this. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, but you're in with the holy war. You just think, oh, it's satanic and real. You're having people on like, oh, they're going to rebuild the third temple and it's the Antichrist and demons. Talk about being like a fish in water and not realizing you're underwater.
And the problem of you and me, as much as I take it that on many other things, we are other sides of the other side of the street. On something like that, which is such an existential problem to our ideologies and our identities and our values. Never mind where are you in the other disagreements between us. We are watching. We're just watching. We didn't yet come forward and offered an alternative, a comprehensive, attractive, spiritual and political, ideological, and maybe even eschatological alternative.
Eschatological alternative? What does he mean? Like interpretation where we don't need holy wars? Where everybody just becomes Noahide and worships at the temple together? What are you proposing here, dude?
That fights them.
Or just anti-Zionist eschatology, saying that there's no Messiah ever coming and it's just spiritual or the people of Israel or Judaism or whatever. I guess there always could be a relatively less threatening alternative interpretation of anything. I guess that's what he's saying.
I ask myself with shame, I cannot tell you how much. We didn't yet open the chapter of what Jewish settlers are doing in the occupied territories in the West Bank.
Okay, one more little clip here.
Daily crimes against innocent Palestinians conducted by wild, savage settlers, ignored by the army and by police and supported by members of Knesset and members of the cabinet. Daily. I'm full of shame. But the utmost one is, where the heck are the rabbis? Where are the spiritual leaders?
This is a banger, watch.
Maybe they're not coming because they are the inciters?
They're the inciters. Oh, nothing to do with Judaism, though. Those are those Zionist rabbis. They're not Judaism rabbis. They're not just reading the Torah. Where are the rabbis?
Because they're behind it?
Yes, they're behind it.
Because they support it? Because they promote it?
Yes.
Promotes their messianic, ends of the day eschatological philosophy?
Boom.
And this is, as I said earlier, where classical Judaism implodes.
Boom. Implode it.
Into Israeliness.
$10 on Rumble.
Into Israeliness.
You put in /.
Thank you, Kira. Then he says it is Israeliness. Israeliness is Judaism. It is apocalyptic messianic Judaism. Finally, someone says it. Seriously. Dude, this is just this little section right here alone is like the best thing Tucker's ever done, I think. One of the best. Is that not crazy?
Inciters? Because they're behind it? Because they support it? Because they promote it? Because it promotes their messianic, ends of the day eschatological philosophy?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, as I said earlier, where classical Judaism implodes into Israeliness.
Into his classical Judaism. So we're not talking like extremist, fringe, Rothschild. It's just classical, regular, run-of-the-mill, mainstream, establishment Judaism is intertwined with Israel. There it is. Not Ashkenazi, not a Ashkenazi Talmudic. We're just talking Judaism. Not secret Sabbatean, Khazarian, Frankist. Judaism.
How important is the rebuilding of the temple to the people you're describing, to the cabinet ministers?
Yeah, Tucker's real serious in this one. He just cut to the heart of it right there, like more than I think anybody ever has on Tucker. He didn't say like, well, they're the synagogue of Satan and they're fake Jews and they're secretly worshiping the devil and like they're ushering in the Antichrist. None of that bullshit. Jeez. Can we just have people like that in charge of government instead of these Bible brain maxers, these prophecy death cultists? Maybe not the blue glasses and the Arab communism or whatever that guy may be associated with, but you get the point.
Rabbis who are not speaking up against what's happening in the occupied territories. Is there actually an effort
Temple talk
to do that, do you believe?
For the people in the street, not the rabbis, not the people engaged, not those you ask question about, to the masses, it's a non-issue.
Yeah, I figured that.
Not all of the masses. Some of the masses. If all the influencers are into it, a lot of the masses are also going to be into it. Somebody needs to go to Israel and do a man on the streets around and ask everybody if they want to have the temple rebuilt. I'm sure you'll find secular people that go, they don't give a fuck. They're like, we don't want the drama. But you'll find a lot of people that will, too. Let's not pretend like not one of the masses, average masses, wants to rebuild the temple.
As if a kind of Disney World in Orlando.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do there whatever you like. I mean, just give us a break, okay? Yeah. So for the masses, they are not there. On the other hand, since 67, at least 5, I'm not at all sure that not more, at least 5 attempts to remove the mosques from the Temple Mount were done by these groupings since 67. Which means...
I did a show covering some of those years ago. Extremist Jewish groups had plans to blow it up. I believe they all got arrested, but then they got let out pretty easy, and they're like still advocating to rebuild the temple and stuff. And it's growing movement like this. Yehuda Glick, maybe? I forget the name of him.
It is not so much about the numbers who support the removal of the temples and the removal of the mosques
this is so
and
good.
The rebuild of the temples. It is about the dedication and the readiness and the fanaticism of those who are ready to act.
Dude, so well put. Again, dude, this guy is nailing this. Seriously. This is the cope. They go, if they're not a monolith, not all Jews want to do that. There's factions, there's infighting, right? Hold on.
Rumble. Adam Core 1882.
Thank you. Some Jews disagree. Not all Jews agree with those rabbis, right? No true rabbi, no true Rabbi Goldsmith, no true Rabbi Goldberg fallacy, right? It doesn't matter the numbers. Like, it's a secular state of Israel. They're not all religious, so they're secular. Doesn't matter the number exactly. There's a large portion, like he said, is very dedicated, fanatic, that do believe it and do have the power and are working on it. That's what matters, not that every single one is on board with it. 1:30. Hold on.
It is not so much about the numbers who support the removal of the temples and the removal of the mosques and the rebuild of the temples. It is about the dedication and the readiness and the fanaticism of those who are ready to act.
Let me just say, I'm embarrassed. I did not know there had been 5 attempts to get rid of the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa. So these were plots to blow them up? Is that?
Yep.
Yep.
I wonder if they're all Jewish or if there was a Christian one too.
Yep.
What happened?
I remember covering like a Christian was planning to go there and I think it was a Christian from America was planning to go there and do it, and he wanted to start a holy war between the Muslims or something. He understands hyperstition. I don't know. I've never heard of this guy before, but in this couple of little clips here, he is spitting some important fire. Can't deny
The
it.
famous one is the 80s, what is called the Jewish underground.
That was it, yeah.
A group of settlers from the same educational system that I grew up, that I was brought up on. Some of them are friends and friends of families and people from the same school I went, etc. I mean, pretty like me people.
Yes.
Who were caught, sentenced, sent to jail, and got a political deal a couple of months or 2 years later. And
the state of Israel even did Kahani in his group as like arrested some of them and called them a terrorist group, right? But then they're still like wildly popular and have grown in popularity and have people that are down with it in government, like Ben Gavir, I think, and Smotrich and others.
Few of them, if not many of them, became prominent Israeli figures. One of the most important newspaper editor in Israel, Makor Rishon, advisors to ministers, members of Knesset.
Wow. See, the group that wanted to blow up the dome now, still highly influential.
Well received back into society.
Received back into society.
Educated and not excluded, not secluded, not excluded. So much so that today sits in jail for life. Yigal Amir, who assassinated the prime minister. And there are constant voices, even within the Knesset, even within the government and the Netanyahu's coalition, calling for his release. So as for your question, what is the support? The support in the public is very small. The dedication of the few is very intensive.
What would happen if the Al-Aqsa complex were destroyed?
I don't know, Tucker. Let's move on.
That's how I feel, but I mean, I don't live there. You do. So you see that as a profound change in world history if that were to happen?
No.
I'm not at all sure that we are not already into this profound change.
Yes.
Like this war with Iran, combined with October 7th, combined with other things, we're in the middle of a transformation of world order.
Yeah, like the fall of Edom and the multipolar world push. He's like, we're already in the messianic age.
To what next order or disorder, neither you nor me know, and maybe we don't share the same vision of what should it be.
Right.
But we're in the middle of a transformation here.
I don't understand. Why does this guy have to be the one that says it? Where's everybody else? Where's all the other big influencers to say these like common sense, like basic observation truths that he just said about the Abrahamic religions and the numbers of people that are into it?
Now, this issue of the the issue of the mosques will be, morally speaking, a coin with two sides. On the Israeli side, if and when this will happen, God forbid, that will be the end of justification of the existence of the state of Israel.
What?
And if this, God forbid, will happen, I'm afraid it will trigger the masses all over the Muslim world that this might topple down few regimes and bring to power different powers and different regimes, that the entire world order, the way we knew it, will not be recognized by us anymore.
Yes.
It is much more dangerous, volatile.
So the blowing up of the dome,
that is certainly my read.
It's going to be nukes and have all the world turn against Israel.
I don't think you're overstating it. Of course,
dude, it's going to be.
Can predict the future,
if that shit happens, it's going to be so crazy.
Likely. Do you think? My other sense, again, I'll allow you to have the more definitive word on it. But
okay, hold on. I think we're ready for this.
If there was ever a time it could happen, it's right now in the middle of this war.
Yes.
The only thing I will say is that I hope that the attention of the prime minister is given to that also.
Yes.
That's the only hope I have.
Okay.
With this kind of messianic mission to use the army as a tool to accelerate redemption.
Okay, hold on.
And a day will come.
We got to go a little back. We missed some. This is another banger.
A different kind of people.
Has anybody seen these clipped up? I'm like, my friend told me, did you see that? You got to see that. There's some important clips in there. I didn't see any of the other clippers or internet people post clips of these yet. Did you guys see them and I just missed them or something? What's going on?
Were brought up under the chaotic, problematic value system of Netanyahu in the settlements, educated with this kind of messianic mission.
John, right.
Thank you, John.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw you and the work you're doing, I saw hope that we can overturn things and save the human race from the kosher spell. We have a chance, and people are waking up. We will win this. KMN forever.
Thank you, dude. You're the best, John. John's banger compilations we played at the beginning of the show, too, are my favorite. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if there was zero hope. It's like, it's so basic and common sense. It's just like an ancient, mind virus that just needs to be finally extinguished. It needs to be, what's the term? Extinct. The Abrahamic prophecy religions need to be extinct and people need to recognize they're not real. Otherwise, civilization is always going to be brought down with this mind virus, this apocalyptic threat to the world.
To use the army as a tool to accelerate redemption. And a day will come that you will see a chief of staff with this kind of agenda. You already have the head of the Shin Bet of our Secret Service coming from these circles.
Didn't know that.
So to trust the Israeli army to be the moderator for good might be a mistake. Pay attention.
Okay.
Things have changed so fast there.
All right, that's it. That's it. I got to get those clipped. Clippers, guys, how did we not see that clipped? The best truth drop on Tucker he's probably ever had, and it isn't even a viral clip going around everywhere. Says a lot. I think that says a lot. Okay, let's do a couple clips from See Through It All of Carrie Bowler on with Alex Jones yesterday.
I don't want to hate Israel. I don't want to blow up Israel. But, I mean, are we supposed to just sit here? What do you think is going on in Israel? Why is Israel going so crazy?
I honestly think that they are the superior human beings to everyone in the world. They've told us over and over again that they are God's chosen people. Therefore, they can go and choose to kill anybody that they want. That is my belief. And I reject that. I completely reject that. And you have people like Paula White who are sitting here saying, oh, I think before anybody goes to heaven, they must go to Israel. Why? Why should I do that, Paula White? You are not even a real pastor. You are a heretic. I don't believe women can be pastors.
What do you mean, why would you want to do that? Like, you realize there's like ancient churches and tons of Christian holy sites. Why would any Christians all over the world love to go to Israel? And not just Israel, but the West Bank, there's a bunch of Christian sites. If you really think God walked the earth and died and saved your sins, people like to go visit every ancient tourist attraction places.
Number one. Number two, you
don't want to go see where Jesus lived and died? Like they always say, you don't want to go walk in the footsteps of Jesus? You don't want to buy a ticket and go in the Jordan River where he was baptized?
literally pushing this war. You are wanting more innocent human life to be slaughtered, to usher in the Messiah, to usher in Jesus Christ's second return. And you know the most
You don't want Jesus to return?
anti-Semitic thing of what they believe, Alex, is they believe in the end 2/3 of the Jews are going to be slaughtered. 2/3 of the Jews are going to be holocausted. That's what Paula White's theology is.
I heard somebody say that's not even true. Has she ever said that? Is that what John Hagee thinks? I doubt it. The rabbis all say it's 2/3 of the world, 2/3 of the Gentiles.
How anti-Semitic is that? They don't care about them. They don't care about the Jewish people. If they did, they'd be trying to convert them right now, but they don't.
Oh, see, the problem with the Christian Zionists is they don't love the Jews the right way. They should be trying to convert them. Yeah, the problem with the Christian Zionists is they're the real anti-Semites. Christian Zionists are the real anti-Semites. Great. That's a great talking point.
Be trying to convert them right now, but they don't. They think that God has a plan for the Jewish people and for the Christians, and that they're God's chosen people. Therefore, they can choose anybody. They can kill to choose.
You don't? You don't think God has a plan for Christians and Jews? Have you ever read the New Testament?
Choose to kill anybody that they want, and I reject that. I absolutely reject that.
It's
That
just
is
as
not
crazy as the Iranian Shiites and their third Mahdi 12th mullah crap.
Dude, she's so Bible brain.
A war.
She does not come off as good to me. Even if she gets some things right, she's just, something's unpleasant about her.
Bring in the end of the world and bring in their Messiah.
It's like she's kind of attractive. She's a beauty queen. She's kind of attractive, but like also I'm just like,
all the Christian Zionist funding, they've already built the temple.
Something's up with her.
Dome of the Rock mosque where the second Jewish temple is, and they've already killed the Red Heaven. Now they're going to kill more, and they think they're going to force this through. It's just cuckoo town.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, and they numbed us. They have numbed us, Alex. We witnessed a complete genocide in Gaza. It's exactly what it is. It was a concentration camp turned into a complete
It's just like
a Holocaust of over 70.
I'm just like, oh, like get away from me. Like the way her face is and the way her mouth's moving.
80,000 innocent civilians. And
something's off-putting about it.
Close to the president has even spoken out about it.
I just don't like even hearing a woman just like
sent $5 on Rumble.
Have this energy.
Muslims are so incredibly spiritually duped that I'm afraid they have to witness the fall of humanity in order to realize Abrahamic religion is all.
Then they'll just be like, "Oh, the prophecies happened. We all fell. We're in gulags. We were beheaded. I guess the prophecy's real."
Why? Because of their allegiance to this foreign country and this heretical theology, this heretical Zionist ideology, which is supremacist.
No, I
racist. It is genocidal.
I would choose. She's okay. She's crushing right there, but no, I would prefer Erica over her. Erica Kirk over this girl.
This
honestly.
Heretical Zionist ideology, which is supremacist. It is racist. It is genocidal. It believes that they can kill anybody that they want because they are God's chosen people, God's chosen nation, and everybody else must be a slave to them. This is what they believe. This is why they're killing everybody and anybody. And this whole Judeo-Christian values, I'm sorry, do not put Christianity on that. That is not my values at all, period. It is disgusting.
Yeah, but you've been a Catholic for 5 months. It is the values of the #1 Christian sect in America. And Christianity does come from Judaism and share the Torah and share the 10 Commandments and share messianic prophetic values.
That they want to say that we're built on Judeo-Christian values.
You are.
Carrie, stay right there.
No, we're not. You're not built on, you don't believe in the 10 Commandments? You're a version of the Noahide code of Genesis? Yeah, it's not just about looks, it's about demeanor.
I want to come back and then play the famous clip of you in the Religious Freedom Commission.
Okay, here's more.
Because they know.
See Through It All says, the whole world has gone insane thanks to these Abrahamic religions.
But Israel now is the #1 special interest above the Chinese, above the EU.
She mogs Erica, I think, in looks alone, but demeanor. Which one would you rather have be your wife?
It is
Erica.
now Israel that is in control of foreign policy, trying to get control of domestic policy, bragging about it, and having their talking heads say everywhere that anybody not agreeing with that is the return of Adolf Hitler, neo-Nazis, a coup. And the leader.
Oh, and when I said this, when I called in years ago, you called me, you're like, you're reading Nazi books. I got to repost that, by the way. Like, so I was right all along, and you called me a Nazi for it. Jones. I saw a clip today of his son saying he wants to see me debate Jay Dyer. He's like, I really want to see Adam Green debate Jay Dyer. I'll have the clip up soon.
Is Joe Kent, who if anything is like a libertarian Christian. So this is bonker town stuff. And they're now saying in the talking point everywhere. You've seen it everywhere. I can play 10 clips. You want to see them? It's not just them. General Flynn's a Nazi, and this guy's a Nazi, and that guy, and Alex Jones is.
Wait, hold on. This is like a straw man. That's what he's talking about. They called you Russian. They said you're a Russian propaganda network, is what she said. Russia propaganda subversive with a bot network. I saw that thread yesterday. Did she call them all Nazis? I don't think she did. See, I saw her say that they were Russian propagandists. I didn't see Nazi.
Because they know with me, everybody knows I don't like Nazis. Never have, because I've studied history. So they don't ever really call me a Nazi. They go, oh, but he's an Iranian, or he's an Alexander Dugin, because I've interviewed him. He works for the Russians, yeah. They're not going to buy that he's a Nazi. We'll just say he's a Russian then, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on. How about I want to live in a free country and not in a nuclear war? How about these different factions are insane?
Well, is that why you campaigned and cheerleaded for Trump for 10 years? Because you didn't want the holy war that this Israeli president just explained on Tucker?
And how about Israel is on a chutzpah-filled megalomaniac power trip? You got all these top rabbis. I got a bunch of clips today. This is the end of the world. We'll trigger Armageddon, their Armageddon, and the Messiah will come. It's I'm just like, ah.
He played clips like that?
And you got the Christian Zionists. We're going to force Jesus' return. I always wondered going to Sunday school and in church why there was so many passages with Jesus saying, if somebody tells you when I'm coming or how this is going to work, or you can make the Messiah come back, that's the devil. And you got all these groups, the 12th Mahdi, Iran, they're going to make their Messiah come back with the end of the world.
Yeah, because the devil totally wants Jesus to come back. The devil's like, I better get busy with my satanic Antichrist third temple so Jesus comes. This is such clown world. Why are we doing the Harry Potter Jewish Dungeons and Dragons fairy tales? Hear that, what he just said? No, it's only this Satanists that want to bring back Jesus. Come on. It's the Satanists that want to bring the Antichrist so Jesus comes and conquers him. Does that make any sense? Hear that again.
Come back with the end of to make their Messiah, the 12th Mahdi, Iran, they're going to make their Messiah come back with the end of the world. Complete lunatics. You got the Christian evangelicals that are into this, lunatics, not them individually. I like a lot of evangelical teaching. They're nice people. The Protestant version, they're nice people, but they really believe this. And you got the mullahs who believe it with their own version. You got a bunch of the Jews who believe it. It's insane.
Guess who else is insane? You've been pushing apocalyptic bullshit your whole career.
Jesus Christ is King. And God gave us and rose up Donald Trump to stand against the enemy and draw out the enemy. So as dark as some of these days are, understand this is the beginning of the great revival before the Antichrist comes.
Who's insane?
World government, implantable microchips, Satanism, it's out of the open. The Bible is fulfilled. Revelation is fulfilled. Jesus Christ is fulfilled. God Almighty is in charge, and we follow that mighty God.
Okay, who's insane?
But more importantly, we pray for President Donald John Trump in this incredibly serious moment.
So you prayed to the Jewish God for Donald Trump, who's now enabling apocalyptic holy wars in the Middle East. And now you're going to say, you guys are crazy and insane.
And the devil is very real.
And he wants to bring back Jesus for some reason. And every time he tries to scare Tucker Carlson, he promotes Jesus more.
And if you look at the Rothschilds setting up the state of Israel, and they totally control that man on screen right there, Soros, telling 60 Minutes the best time of his life was working for the Nazis. If you don't understand that Israel's been set up to bring in this whole global collapse and to bring in this whole battle of the gods in the Middle East, the Guder Damarong, then you're not studying what the New World Order is up to. And so what we see is prophecy being fulfilled. And I'm going to explain this again. The globalists know there's a global collapse coming of their system, so they collapse it beforehand to be on top of the collapse. It's the same thing. God knows the plan of the universe. He already made it, but he gave us free will. These evildoers also get a good...
So you have free will to do whatever God already had predetermined. Makes sense?
Going.
Yo, Busimi, thank you.
Settle down, Alex. You're scaring the kids.
Yeah, seriously. It's wild to me that he can be like, oh, they're waiting for their Messiah, and the Antichrist is trying to bring in Jesus, and they're all insane. It's like, dude, you've been the insane one pushing this nonstop.
And so they are, again, playing God. They know that the Messiah is going to come. They know a new temple is going to be built. They know Christ is going to rule for 1,000 years from Jerusalem before this reality is destroyed, this simulation. And they're going to do it all beforehand. That's what the Antichrist is, ladies and gentlemen. And you can sit there and think, oh, well, that's just Christian cosmology. That's just your religion. Yeah, well, watch it all happen, because it isn't just my religion. There's a struggle between good and evil going on in all of us. And it's particularly going on in the Jews. Some of the best people you're ever going to meet are Jews. Some of the worst people you're ever going to meet are going to be Jews. And that's the same and vice versa for any group.
So we all got to worship the Messiah together with the good Jews, right, Jones?
Particularly true with them. And so what you're about to see unfold and what you're about to see go on is very serious and very real. So Trump thought, oh, I'll actually...
There you go. There you go. And now today.
But they really believe this. And you got the mullahs believe it with their own version. You got a bunch of the Jews that believe it. It's insane.
You believe it. Your audience believes it.
And every one of these Middle East wars, oh, it's about to happen. We're going to make Jesus come back. Like you ding a bell. Or you know.
But you think that they are doing an Antichrist thing that is going to be the catalyst for the return of Jesus. So he doesn't disagree with this.
You're at the movie theater and you hit the button for service. Popcorn, please. Hey, Jesus, get in here. I'm hitting the button. Hey, why is he not coming?
Dude, unbelievable.
Israel now is the number one special.
Unbelievable hypocrisy and lack of self-awareness. Dumbest criticism of Israel award. Let's see.
This is a foreign government. And as soon as I mention their name, all of a sudden I'm removed from this commission simply because I'm not a Zionist. And I asked the people on that commission who were testifying that day, I said, is anti-Zionism anti-Semitism? I want to be very clear on the terms here, which I have every right to do as a commissioner. I want to define the terms. I'm not just going to go along with this if they're claiming that if I say
They're like, yeah, that's our slogan. Haven't you heard it before? We've said it a million times over the last few years.
kill Jesus, that's considered hate speech. I have a big problem with that because that is a historic fact. That is a fact of history. And so if we're now deeming
The Jews killing Jesus is a fact of history.
Jews killed Jesus, that's considered hate speech. I have a big problem with that because that is a historic fact. That is a fact of history. And so
Okay, so she's wrong on two accounts. Number one, it's a mystical midrashic myth. It's not a fact of history. One, it's a fact that the Bible says that's not a fact of history. The Bible is not fact. We're not just taking the Bible as fact. Problem number one. Problem number two, this bill does not make the Bible illegal. It says calling Jews or Israelis today Christ killers, or saying they're responsible today for killing Jesus, they deem that as anti-Semitic. Why is she really so stupid that she can't tell the difference between those two things?
we're now deeming certain parts of the New Testament as hate speech. Every Christian should be upset about that.
See, no. We should be able to say, should the Jews be upset if we say the Torah is hate, anti-Gentile hate? If we say, how can she say the Jews think they're the chosen people and are supremacist, and that's hate? That's bad. But then she's like, you can't say my religion's hate or bad. No, you're all of it. All of it is wrong and fake and fiction and Jewish and bad. And we have the right to criticize any aspect of it we want. Yeah, Jonah lived inside a whale for 3 days. That's a fact of history. Eve was made from the rib of Adam. Fact of history. Oh, she's just like scares me. I just feel like I'm getting like abused by a psycho girlfriend or something.
Every American should be upset about that. And I submit as hate speech, every Christian.
No, I'm not upset with them thinking that you calling them God killers is hateful, because I want to have the right to say Judaism is hateful against pagans and Gentiles.
Should be upset about that. Every American should be upset about that. And I want to know, where is this going to lead? The new IHRA definition on anti-Semitism, you can go and read it. I mean, this is dangerous. This is dangerous for free speech. So what's going to happen? Are they going to start arresting people? We're going to start putting people in jail, taking away their First Amendment rights simply because we say something to criticize Israel or the Jewish people? We're not allowed. Is that a sin to criticize the Jewish people?
Not is it a sin, is it wrong? Does the Bible because guess what? Your Nostra Aetate Vatican II does say that it's a sin to hold them responsible and blame them for killing Jesus. It does say that's a sin, actually. But is it wrong for me to criticize Judaism? No, it's not wrong.
I would really like to know. Is that considered hateful because I'm criticizing a foreign government that is committing a genocide in Gaza, and I have a duty as a Christian to speak out against that?
To claim somebody's evil because they don't believe in your heavenly Messiah, yes, that is wrong. It is wrong to hate people for not believing in your magical Jewish comic book character.
This is insane, and we must be pushing back against this.
She's going to fail. Watch. She's not going to succeed. She's going to fail, and she's going to be ultimately help them. Mark my word. Just like I said with Candace, same thing. She's going to do way more harm than good. All right. Well, how are we on time? Hour and a half. All right. I can't wait to get to this new. We're going to do a moon segment, guys. Lots of NASA, SpaceX news. We're going to get into it. I want to check it out. We're going to watch it too. Next week, they're flying around the moon. But in a minute, I want to watch this one. Oh, this is kind of long.
People read a few verses in the New Testament, remove them from their context, ignore the entire Hebrew Bible, ignore who the speakers are, ignore who the audience is, and somehow arrive at the conclusion that the New Testament teaches hatred towards the Jewish people, which is
it's exactly what they do.
The New Testament is a thoroughly Jewish document written by Jews about a Jewish Messiah, arguing about Jewish scripture inside a Jewish society. Jesus is Jewish. The apostles are Jewish. The first believers are Jewish. The entire conversation is happening inside the Jewish world of the first century. And yet certain passages are often pulled out of context and used to justify anti-Semitism. Let's look at one of them. In Thessalonians, Paul writes, "You suffered the same things from your own countrymen."
What he was going to say.
"They did from the Jews who killed the Lord Jesus and the prophets and drove us out." Now somebody might read that and say, well, there it is. Paul says the Jews killed Jesus. So let's slow down and be clear, because clarity matters here. First, the New Testament does not hide the fact that some Jewish leaders wanted Jesus executed. The Gospels show that certain members of the Jerusalem leadership...
My response to that verse is I think it's an interpolation, because it says like the worst tragedy has come upon you because of it, which is clearly a reference to the destruction of the temple, showing that that was written in after the temple was destroyed. Paul wrote that before the temple was destroyed, so a Christian added it in later. I've seen that argument argued very decisively, and it's a lot of scholars think that
Jesus was dangerous and brought charges against him. They then handed him over to the Roman governor. So yes, some Jewish leaders were involved in initiating the process that led to Jesus' death. But that's only part of the story. The execution itself was Roman. Crucifixion was not a Jewish punishment. The authority to issue the sentence belonged to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, and Roman soldiers carried out the crucifixion. So historically, the situation looks like this. Some Jewish leaders sought Jesus' death, and Rome issued the sentence. Rome also carried out the execution. Those two things can both be true at the same time, but it's very different from saying the Jewish people killed Jesus. Because if we start speaking about the Jews collectively, the story falls apart immediately.
Okay, this is just what your average Christian, the average Christian's going to believe, the average Christian's going to hear, and that's why it doesn't work. That's why it ultimately fails. Okay, let's do the moon segment. White House posts the goal is not just to reach the moon, but to stay. They're announcing moon bases, nuclear-powered ships, all types of stuff. We'll see if it culminates in anything. America will never give up the moon again. The return, the new NASA administrator, Jewish Jared Isaacman, to return Americans to the moon, NASA is shifting to an iterative, execution-focused approach, just as we did during the Apollo. We are standardizing rocket architecture, embedding NASA expertise across industry, increasing launch cadence to support sustained lunar operations, sending demand signal for crew missions beyond Artemis 5 with at least 2 providers capable of bringing astronauts to the surface every 6 months. The goal is not just to reach the moon, but to stay. America will never give up the moon again. Okay. NASA's flying around the moon. Pre-launch activities begin tomorrow. So I guess early next week, they're launching around the moon. And all the flat earthers and moon landing deniers are going to say it's all fake and it's all AI and it's all CGI. You're going to cope and cope and cope.
We shall return.
This is a live look.
We will see things that no human has ever seen.
We want to know what's out there just beyond the horizon.
Amazing live views from the spacecraft.
Coming back to Earth, say we were doing like 5 or 7 miles. 7 miles a second. Those are just not numbers that humans generally think about.
We were always going to the moon.
7 miles a second? You can't go to... Joke's on you, Goy. NASA means deceive, and... You can't go to the moon, dude. The Van Allen radiation belt. The firmament's in the way, dude. The moon's not even real, dude. It's just a illuminated phantasm.
Ourselves to explore is core to who we are.
It's in our nature.
That's a part of being a human.
And lift off. 6 million pounds on the pad.
How many?
250,000 miles.
Boosters have separated.
When humanity sets big goals, we can accomplish extraordinary things.
Adam, you believe those Nazi occultists, Satanists, and their fake CGI? Dude, space is fake, bro. Come on, we don't need science. We got the Bible. Evolution's satanic too, bro. We were made by God. He breathed air into the nostrils of the dirt man, Adam. To build a sustained human presence on the moon, we are building NASA Moon Base, prioritizing surface operations and scalable infrastructure. Frequent robotic landings and mobility testing, including moonfall drones, starting in 2027. Nearly monthly cadence of equipment and rovers with scientific payloads landing on the moon. Investments in power, communications, and surface mobility, scalability, infrastructure to support long-term presence. The objective is clear: build the foundation for an enduring lunar base and take the next steps toward Mars. This is the images they're showing. Dude, pretty soon they're just going to be able to send up humanoid robots to go up and build shit up there. AI-powered humanoid robots. This is the trip they're doing. And this is what they did in the early Apollo missions too. They didn't go land on the moon on the first one. They did the same thing. They flew up, flew around it. They're testing out the new rockets. They've already did this like a year or two ago too. An unmanned trip around the moon. So they leave Earth and then take a wide thing to boomerang around, taking 4 days to reach the moon and one pass around. Farther from the moon than they've ever been, so the farthest any humans ever been from Earth around the moon. Dude, they're going to have cameras taking video inside through the window probably. And what are you going to do? You're going to say it's CGI and AI with a green screen? Is that what you're going to do no matter what? And then come back and land in the ocean.
And they roam the world at will.
Is this the one we watched already?
There's a race of men that don't fit in. A race that can't stay still. So they break the hearts of kith and kin, and they roam the world at will. They range the field, and they rove the flood, and they climb the mountain's crest. Theirs is a curse of the gypsy blood, and they don't know how to rest.
Dude, they could disappear forever. There could be a huge disaster. It could blow up. They could all die. It's a huge chance they could, like, it's no guarantee that they're coming back.
Just went straight. We might go far. They're
Yeah, we're going to beat China and build a moon base.
strong and brave and true. But they're always tired of the things that are, and they want the strange and new.
Well, that may have been one small step for Dale, but it's a heck of a big leap for me.
They say, could I find my proper groove? What a deep mark I would make. So they chop and change, and each fresh move is only a fresh mistake. And each forgets as he strips and runs with a brilliant, fitful pace. It's
Already bases on the moon? Well, we're going to play an Elon clip, and he jokes about that.
steady, quiet, plodding ones who win in lifelong race.
You know, another thing, too, it's like, if they were faking them all so much back then when they didn't even have like the type of CGI software to properly fake it, why wouldn't they just continue faking it over and over again? Why wouldn't they, if they faked it a bunch of times going to the moon, why wouldn't they just keep that going? oh, you're too smart, you'd figure it out. No, their ability to deceive you would just get better and better, actually, too. And now when they do, you're going to say, oh, this is fake. Well, then why did they wait decades to fake it to you again, to shut all you guys that are hot on their trail off?
And each forget.
Trump's gonna. That's a funny meme. Somebody should make a Trump hotel on the moon. Moon base. Trump moon base with a Trump hotel on the moon.
Forgets that his youth has fled, forgets that his prime is past, till he stands one day with a hope that's dead in the glare of the truth at last. He has failed. He has failed.
There you go. That is real, dude. Don't tell me that's fake right there.
I have. Life's been a jolly good joke on him, and now is the time to laugh. He is alone at the Legion lost. He was never meant to win. He's a rolling stone, and it's bred in a bone. He's a man who won't fit in.
And a woman. What? It's weird to me how they want to make it such a big deal. Such a big deal that a woman goes to. It's like, it's not that hard to lay back in your seat and have a self-driving rocket ship take you somewhere and to walk around, take some steps. Okay, here's the dude on Fox News. Let's see this.
Will return to the surface. But I'll tell you what, April 1st, Artemis 2, it's going to be the most important human spaceflight mission in more than a half century.
They're going to be like, April Fools! We tricked you. Aliens are real. April Fools. They're going on April Fool's Day? Really? Uh-oh.
Sending NASA astronauts and one Canadian Space Agency astronaut around the moon, farther into space than we've ever sent humans before, on a 10-day journey back safely here to Earth, which will set up for subsequent missions. We're going to be launching moon rockets in 2027. We're going to be launching again in 2028, where American astronauts will return to the surface. It's only a matter of time before NASA once again captivates the world's attention. But I'll tell you what, April 1st, Artemis 2.
April 1st. Remember, they were supposed to do it last month, and they had a helium leak, and they had to slowly move the whole rocket back to the factory and fix it. They fixed it pretty quick, though, and then now it should be good to go.
When we get to the moon and establish the base, do we then go on to Mars?
Absolutely. That's one of the best reasons to go to the moon. Look, the moon is a couple days away, but it is a great proving ground for us. We're going to get our American astronauts, NASA astronauts on the surface of the moon. We're going to start to interact with the lunar regolith. We're going to do in situ resource manufacturing, where we work with the water ice to make propellant. And I'll tell you what, that is a critical...
Thank you, John. Hyped on the moon landing, huh?
Could you please invest some time and contact that guy that I sent on Twitter, Kyle Wakeman? He's nearing 100K subs on Instagram. He's on the verge about the Abrahamic religions. He could be a great frontman combating this psyop.
Yes. Wait, you want me to reach out to him on Instagram? Is that what you said? Dude, thank you for the big dono, John. We hit the goal. Hammered the goal.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Thank y'all. Come again.
Yes, John, absolutely. I will check that guy out. Can we try to get him on the show? Is that the plan, or just to green pill him, or what?
You're going to need to be able to do when you send American astronauts to Mars someday. They're actually going to have to make their propellant on the surface, and then that's how they come back home from Mars to tell us about it. Not to mention, you're going to need nuclear power and propulsion in space. The moon is a perfect proving ground for that. And again, you're going to someday take...
Dude, imagine if they take a nuclear-powered ship to the moon and blow up the moon. That would be bad.
Power and propulsion farther out into the solar system, explore the outer solar system, and bring it down to the surface of Mars to help make that propellant that we're going to need to send astronauts to and from Mars with great frequency.
When we get to the moon...
that sounds like total bullshit. I don't think that's going to happen.
Want to go beyond a mere terawatt? What if you want to go beyond a mere terawatt per year? In order to do that, you have to go to the moon. So by having factories on the moon, building AI satellites, and having a mass driver, which is the kind of thing you really only learn about or read about in science fiction, but we're going to make it real. We're actually going to have a mass driver on the moon.
Mass driver?
And if you do that, you can go several orders of magnitude greater. You can go to 1,000 gigawatts or more per year, and ultimately get to maybe a millionth and then 1,000th and maybe even a few percent of the sun.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Okay, here it
It's
is.
going to be incredibly exciting to see it happen. I really want to see the mass driver on the moon that is shooting AI satellites into deep space.
Oh.
It's going like shoom, shoom, just one after the other. I can't imagine anything more epic than a mass driver on the moon and a self-sustaining city on the moon, and then going beyond the moon to Mars, going throughout our solar system, and ultimately being out there among the stars and visiting all these star systems. Maybe we'll meet aliens. Maybe we'll see some civilizations that lasted for millions of years, and we'll find the remnants of ancient alien civilizations. But the only way we're going to do that is if we go out there and we explore. And this is the path to making it happen. Thank you. What if you want to go
Okay, I see in the chat here, Rain says, Revelation 13:13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Well, that certainly sounds like what Elon's doing. Crazy.
beyond a mere terawatt per year? In order to do that, you have to go to the moon. So by
Okay, last one. This is about the nuclear electric propulsion spacecraft launching to Mars in 2028.
When it comes to Mars, everyone thought we were crazy. But sometimes, that's what it takes. We're making science fiction reality, writing the next chapters in the story of Mars exploration. But it doesn't happen overnight. Getting there is never easy.
The first powered flight by an aircraft on another planet.
What?
It takes courage.
They flew a drone on Mars? I didn't know that. Was that Chinese people? No. Did you guys know that? They flew a drone? Yeah, but they'll just say, oh, that's really in the desert of Las Vegas. That could be anywhere.
The first powered flight.
Ingenuity Mars helicopter.
It takes courage, creativity, resilience. It takes a legacy of daring, mighty things, of failing.
Come on. Listen.
Did any of you guys know that? I'd never heard this before in my life. Ingenuity Mars helicopter completed 72 historical flights since taking place. They flew a drone on the moon? Where's all the pictures it took? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's watch this. We are moving asteroids too. I know, yeah, we landed on something on an asteroid. I remember that.
And liftoff, launching the next generation of robotic explorers to the Red Planet.
We'd made it through launch, cruise, EDL, all of that, and we were ready now to begin our real mission, our real life on Mars. And we were all excited to...
Don't miss family moments to your show. You will regret it later in life. Feel understand.
Thank you, Johan. You're right. That's a good point. I do. I went to the jumpy place with my daughters right before I did the show today. That's why I was a little bit later. But yeah, I did miss the zoo the other day, though, to stay home and do a stream. But that's what has to happen sometimes. Daddy's got to work.
Earlier today, Ingenuity should have autonomously performed its first...
This is the new religion. This is so Reddit, dude. Science is so fake and Jewish, bro. We just believe in Jesus. We don't need all this fake space is fake, dude. Nazi satanic occult NASA, bro. You believe them?
I think he could be a great asset and a front soldier on Instagram. Kyle has huge potential to reach 1 million followers there. We need to use this opportunity. Do it for me, Adam.
I will. I'll try. But I mean, if he's not down, there's nothing I could do. I mean, does he know who I am? At least? Or is he just going to ignore me? I'm going to send him something. He's just going to ignore me. We'll see. I'm not even sure who he is.
Flight attempt on Mars.
Oh, dude, all the masks.
Ingenuity's reporting.
Science.
Altimeter data confirms that Ingenuity has performed its first flight of a powered aircraft to another planet.
At that point, you just open the flight.
Yeah, drones is a religion, dude. Radio signals, drones, rockets. It's just like a religion. You just like worship them. Dude, like my Toyota Corolla, also a machine that moves you. It's like a religion.
Gates of what is possible.
Yeah, it was surreal.
That was the crowning achievement of the team.
You know, we really had to hold hands and do it together.
From that moment forward, really, we were off to the races and saying, okay, great, that's done. Let's get back to work. Let's get to flight 2, and then 3, and then so on and so on. How fast can we fly? How high up above the surface can we fly? We started doing things in parallel with the rover, and we've also demonstrated that the helicopter can be a scout to help scientists.
5 flights for 30 days. And it did 72 flights. How have I never heard of this? Too busy, everybody's talking about prophecy and aliens and demons.
Of course, there's a little sadness that, oh no, it's over. It's kind of
and who hates Jesus? That's more important.
To realize, you know, what you're part of here. At least for me, I kind of get goosebumps.
We hope that Ingenuity will inspire teams to build larger, more capable vehicles. From a science perspective, what is interesting now that we've unlocked that aerial dimension?
The best way to predict the future is to create it.
Create it. Thank you, Sar. I just love drone videos also. I would watch all the DJI drone videos. I want a new drone so bad, and they banned like the best drone maker in America. Thanks, Trump. It's R2-D2.
Sent $20. Kyle knows who you are and always wanted to reach
Okay,
out.
cool.
He tried to reach out to you through me.
Perfect.
So, yeah, you will most likely do a show together.
Sweet, cool. I'll check them out some more, dude. That sounds good. Dude, drone and rover combo. That's how they're recording the drone. They have a camera that follows it. Yeah, the atmosphere is thin, but I believe it's got similar gravity to Earth, and it has an atmosphere. That's why it had those big wings, and they were flying in opposite directions, double level wings.
Zionist Marcian Cook sent $5. Third worlders need to be sent to Mars first, so they could build up a fully functioning society for us all, quickly. Remember that Indian who was trying to create rocket fuel from human excrement?
No.
Is a bulletproof plan for the humankind.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Batteries, blades, antenna, solar panel. Oh, it has a solar panel on the top. I was wondering how it charged. That is sick. 4 pounds. Oh, it's 4 pounds, 4 pounds on Earth, 4 feet wingspan. Flight altitude up to 15 feet. That's it? It only got 15 feet off the ground? Wow. The atmosphere is less than 1% as dense as Earth. That's probably why it could only get 4-foot wings. And it's only 4 pounds, and it could only go 15 feet high because it's so. Because it's not dense.
Hear me out. And picking ourselves back up. We've been here before. Decades of success. Building the future isn't for everyone. But for us, it's written in our DNA. We are.
What? Wait a second. White supremacist racist? Our DNA? It's not for those third worlders, only for our NASA Americans, our DNA. It ain't for everybody. You don't see any Africans building spaceships and going to the moon. It's in our DNA. Whoa. Maybe they are a bunch of Nazis at NASA. Our DNA? Okay. All right, I'm just kidding.
Building the future isn't for everyone.
Yeah, atmosphere. It's not for everybody. Not for everyone. It's our DNA.
Building the future isn't for everyone. But for us, it's written in our DNA. We are the architects of the impossible. And on Mars, we've only just begun.
Artist conception. We don't have that already. But I like what we're thinking here. Skyfall Mars helicopters. Dude, we're turning into Dune. They even got the Dune soundtrack. This is Dune. Real life Dune. We should take back Europe before attempting the moon. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. It would accelerate the moon goals. Star people. Hey, not everybody's building ships and crossing the oceans 1,000 years ago and building spaceships and going to the moon. It's in our DNA. It's not for everyone, okay? That's so funny to me. I can't believe they got away with that. I thought they were so ultra woke. There was nobody at HR, no Karen at HR, like, actually, that sounds a little white supremacist. It's not very inclusive of like the rest of the world. Like they have DNA that can go to the moon too if they just had the right resources. If they weren't held down by the Europeans. Space reactor. Trump's space policy. All right. That was cool. We're just going to end it there. I have a couple more things. We'll save it to tomorrow, though. None of it's pressing. We hit the goal. We're at 2 hours. Remember, guys, the Jesus Deception Substack. In about 2 weeks, to give you guys some time to sign up, we're going to start the Zoom private paid subscriber Zoom call book club where we're starting with my book, The Jesus Deception. That's the plan. We'll do other books. We'll do other stuff too for the private Zoom calls. It's going to be a lot of fun trying something new. I'm also going to be working on a new mini documentary about the Jesus deception, and what was it? Oh, and the audiobook for the Jesus deception as well, because I know you guys like audiobooks and nobody likes to hold a book and sit down and read for hours and hours. So thank you all. Super shout out John Garadas and everybody that supported today. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Like, share, subscribe, clip it. You all know what to do. I'm going to go to the gym and eat some beef jerky, and remember to hail the old gods and down with Yahweh and all the Bible brain maxers. All right. Love you guys. Take care.